All right, let's give this a second to load up. Oh, okay, I'm gonna mute my phone. That's gonna get a... Oh, that was a notification of myself. Okay, so at least I know that's working. Oh, it's missing music. That's funny. All right, let's get this live stream started. All right, guys, welcome. This is the 15th Ask Me Anything live stream. And I feel pretty good today. You know, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Hope you guys are having a good day. Now, for anyone that's watching the replay of this, the schedule of these live streams, I try to do 2 every month. So I would say bi-weekly on Saturdays around 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And then in terms of the rest of my YouTube content, I try to post one video every Wednesday. And I try to do one podcast at least once per month. I would like to do more, but lately I've been struggling to find guests. So if there's anyone watching this that would be interested in doing a podcast, you know, reach out. Hi, Forrest. I'm going to be in and out. Yeah, no worries. Do your thing. Enjoy your day. So anyways, so I got my glasses on today. I usually don't wear my glasses for most of my YouTube videos or live streams, but I need them for when I do a lot of reading. And as you can tell by the title of this live stream, I kind of wanted to break down some ideas and maybe read a little bit on Wikipedia when it comes to George Orwell, his book 1984, and a lot of the political concepts and ideas that he kind of breaks down in the book. I found it super interesting. Now, this was a book that, let's see, I read in grade 10. So how old are you in grade 10? 16? I think 16, 15 or 16. Now the thing is, at that age, and whenever you get forced to do something, like read a novel, for example, you never really appreciate it, if that makes any sense, because a lot of the concepts in this book are very deep, right? And they're very complicated. And for someone who's, 16 years old with a very short attention span, I doubt that I had any interest at all. So when I did read this book for the first time, I never cared for it. I was just like, whatever. It was just something that we were forced to do in school in order to pass our English class. Hey, Naman, how you doing? Thanks for making it to the stream. So anyways, like I was saying, I've always wanted to reread this book. Now that I'm a lot older, and a lot of these political ideas, like dictatorships and totalitarianism, and all these, very complicated things, they intrigue me now. Whereas before, I didn't really care. Did you finish the book? Yes, I just finished it last night. So I spent about a week. When did I start it? I started it last week Friday, and I finished it yesterday Friday. So it took about a week to read it. And so this was the second time that I've read it. Like, I read it 20 years ago when I was in high school, but like I said earlier, I didn't care for it. But this time when I read it, I really thought about the ideas that Orwell was kind of describing, and it really made me think, and it kind of blew me away. And it was almost like the book was kind of terrifying. I was just like, wow, this is like, he wrote these ideas when, in like the 40s? Like, when did he write this book? Hold on. This is why got my glasses on. I plan to do a bunch of reading, a Wikipedia reading here. So, wait, when was this published? So 1984 was published on June 8th in 1949. So if it was published in 49, he obviously wrote it in the early 40s or something, I'm assuming. So imagine that, like, these ideas that he had and he was talking about are 80 years old. That's crazy. And I think that I found this book super interesting because I think it kind of relates to sort of like what's going on in China right now, with how like their government kind of controls everything, and they have this idea of a social credit score, and how kids are banned from playing video games during certain days of the week, I think, or something like that. And this concept of having an oligarchy government or totalitarian government where Big Brother is watching you and Big Brother is controlling you, and if you step out of line, then Big Brother is going to punish you. And this was very reminiscent of kind of a lot of the things that's happening in China, right? And I know that this is, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but so many people in like mainstream media, they're scared to criticize China, I guess. But for me, I have no interest in any of this stuff, so I can just talk freely and share my opinions. But man, this idea of having a big brother, of a government just monitoring you 24/7 and just having this omnipresence at all times, in all moments, in all locations, is, I think that's what was really terrifying for me. Let's see. It's a great book, really dwells into the human psychology and how someone can easily control the reality if they control our thoughts. Something social media has been doing to us nowadays. See, that's a crazy part. Is how a government can control reality if they can control our thoughts. Now, so I'm going to be discussing a lot of ideas about the book. So spoiler alert. I don't even think I should even need to say that. Do I need to say that? Spoiler alert. This book is so old. So whatever. So anyways, I think it was towards the end of the book when Winston was talking to O'Brien. And O'Brien was saying how they could control reality if they can control your thoughts. And then Winston was arguing back, and O'Brien was like, if I wanted to levitate and float in front of you in this room, then I could do so and make that reality. And then Winston was kind of arguing that, well, I know that that's not real. But then after he breaks it down where he's like, if O'Brien 100% honestly believes that he is levitating and he was flying in the room, and Winston 100% believes that he is also doing the same, if both sides, if both people are believing in the same thing, then it must equal true, right? So if O'Brien honestly believes that he's flying and levitating, and Winston honestly believes that's what he's seeing, then that is how, you know, Big Brother can control reality, by controlling your thoughts. And that's when like the book got really deep for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. And I almost felt kind of bad that I underappreciated this book when I was younger. Like, I think I just read through it just for the credit to complete the course, and I never really thought anything of it. I was like, oh, you know, maybe these ideas are kind of cool. I had no idea what totalitarianism is. I didn't even know anything about politics, like nothing about parties. Like I don't know anything about politics at all when I was younger. But now it interests me because I think people really care about a lot of this stuff. People are fearful of dictatorships, and they're fearful of governments that have absolute power. Case in point, look at North Korea, right? Like North Korea is this complete dictatorship where the government basically controls everything, and the people are basically slaves, and they live in poverty, they don't have food, they're in concentration camps, and where they're doing like basically slave labor, and that's insane. So this is also discussed in the book Sapiens. Oh, I think I started reading that book, but for whatever reason, I don't know why I stopped. It's called an subjective reality. Something becomes real if we all believe in it, even if it isn't real, like money. Yeah, that's so crazy. You know what it also really teaches you? It teaches you how easy it is for human beings to be influenced, and how like malleable we are when it comes to ideas that are posed to us from people in positions of power. And that's what really got my brain turning. And when I did finish the book, I was like, man, I was really thinking through all of these ideas, and I didn't really get a chance to kind of collect my thoughts. So that's sort of what I wanted to just do with this live stream, and kind of, maybe just, I had a couple tabs open on Wikipedia, and I wanted to sort of do a deep dive into some of the ideas. The craziest one was this idea of perpetual war. That was like, that was so crazy, because it also kind of reminded me of the US. You know how like the US is always like in these perpetual wars, because then like it generates money, and it generates influence, and it gives people purpose, and it gives people an enemy. And when I look back at the history of the United States, it's like, it's just like full of war. And even in the book, when they talk about how, I can't remember how many provinces or nations were there. There was like Oceania, that was like the main one, and there was like Eurasia and East Asia. I think those were like the three big powers in the book. And for the longest time, Oceania was at war with Eurasia. And then all of a sudden, the party decided that they're no longer at war with Eurasia, and now that they're in eternal conflict with East Asia. But they have been since the beginning of time. So that they go back and erase everything in the history books to make it so. And that's just like wild to me. Like, imagine if someone went into Wikipedia and changed all the information from our history, right? And then all of us as human beings were obliterated from this timeline, and some future group of humanity stumbles upon all of the data we have. If there's no one alive who could remember what really happened, whatever has been saved in documentation becomes the truth. And that that kind of blows me away, right? So let's see. Let's kind of wanted to go through the 1984 Wikipedia. Bum, bum, bum. You know what's the slapping part about it is there are three groups of people: the rulers, the rebels, and the commons, and funny how commons never come to rule even with the largest population. Oh yeah, that part was crazy too, right? They were talking about when Winston found the book, or got the book from the, what was that mercenary group? Not mercenary. There was a group of people that opposed Big Brother and the party. They were called like the Resistance or something. But when he was reading that book, they were talking about how, like you said, there's three tiers of people, like the high tier, the mid tier, and the low tier. And it's always the high tier and the mid tier who is fighting to be on the top. And the bottom tier, like the group of common people, even though their numbers might outmatch the second or top tier, they always remain in the bottom, and it's always the top and the middle fighting for superiority, and the bottom just never gets anywhere. And when I think about that idea, it sort of reminds me of people right now in our society who are homeless and who are stricken by poverty, where they can never get out of the basement. They can never get out of the bottom, and they're just stuck. And there's always like this flip-flopping between, like, some people in the middle class will excel at life and then they'll shoot to the top, and there's some people at the top that will fail and crash and burn, and they'll fall down back into mediocrity. But then it's those people at the bottom that they're just on that eternal hamster wheel where they're just spinning their wheels, they're just going through life and never getting anywhere. But it's crazy, even with like the biggest number of people. Like if they had the biggest population, they have such little influence and power. It's like, this stuff really makes you think. Oh, another thing that I found super interesting were these, like, I guess you would call them Orwellian terms, because Orwell just created them, right? There was doublethink, thought crime, newspeak, and the thought police. I found all of those concepts super interesting, especially like the newspeak, how they wanted to just dumb down the language so people couldn't express themselves in detail, whereas something is good now could be extraordinary or amazing or extravagant or blissful, but now it becomes good or double good, triple good, quadruple good, and it's like dumbing down the language. What would Varys say about power? Oh, Varys from Game of Thrones? That's the, oh man, that's the bald guy, right? The eunuch. That guy was a wicked that guy was a super sneaky character, Varys. Okay, so let's see. Doublethink. Doublethink is a process of indoctrination whereby the subject is expected to simultaneously accept two mutually contradictory beliefs as correct, often in contravention of one's own memories or sense of reality. Doublethink is related to but differs from hypocrisy. Wow. That's so crazy. Where you have to accept two mutually contradictory contradictory beliefs as correct. Wow, there's like a whole page here. There's like a whole Wikipedia page on doublethink. Well, this idea was bizarre too. The 2 + 2 = 5. That was wild. I don't know. I don't know what to think now. Like my brain is like intrigued by all these concepts, and I'm trying to work them out in my head, and I don't know. What was your favorite moment from the book? I think one of my favorite moments. Well, actually, let me think for a second. What did I really enjoy? Oh, the part with the girl, Winston, and what was the girl's name? Julia? I think it was Julia, right? I remember in the beginning when Winston sees Julia, he just like absolutely despised her because she had that sash of chastity. Is it chastity? No, what's the word? When you give up sex. But anyways, he sees this woman who appears to be the model citizen for the party, who kind of obeyed all orders and was doing all this extracurricular work, and he just absolutely despised her and hated her. And there's one part where he was following her in the streets, and he was thinking about running after her and catching up and just like smashing her head with a rock. And he just like hated this woman so much and just despised her. And sort of, I guess, how the party, wanted to control your emotions as human beings, and they wanted to almost like reduce your sexual urges, I guess. But then when she falls and falls in her arm that was in like a sling or whatever, and then she hands him that letter or note, or she put it into the palm of his hand and it said, "I love you." And then it made him almost question everything he thought about the opposite gender. And even, when they finally met up, and this is like something, it's like a turning point in the book, because he goes from hating this woman to all of a sudden he can't stop thinking about her, and he wants to talk to her, and he wants to know what's the meaning of the message, and he wants to know if she's actually a spy, or she's setting him up, or is this like a big trap. And he's conflicted with all these thoughts and ideas, where he thought he knew how he felt towards women, but then from just one simple act of her giving him a piece of paper with three words on it, it just completely changes his mind and outlook on the whole situation. And it was fascinating, because eventually when they do meet up and they embrace, it's almost as if your humanity as a human being, it overwhelms you, and it overcomes the propaganda and brainwashing that he received from the party and Big Brother. And then he finds out, he does love, he can have feelings for other people, and he learns, to value Julia and have affection for her. And I really enjoyed that part, because it kind of shows you that no matter how much a dictatorship can suppress you, right? Deep down at our core, we still have natural instincts as human beings. And I think, love and compassion towards other people is a huge part of it. And I don't know how anyone could suppress that. Honestly, I have to read it again because I forgot everything. Yeah, like the first time I read it, it was 20 years ago. So I didn't remember a single thing, Forrest. Like I couldn't remember anything at all. But then this time I took like a full week to read the book, and it was man, it was wonderful but terrifying at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like I had these two conflicting feelings where I was like, man, I just love this book. It's so interesting. But at the same time I was like, oh, this book is so scary. This is so hard to read. Because this guy is basically predicting a lot of things that's happening nowadays with control and surveillance. Human emotions can only be suppressed for so long. Yeah, exactly. And that's like what Big Brother was trying to do. They were trying to like suppress your emotions as human beings and control your thoughts and turn you into perfect citizens. But I feel like that ruse can only last for so long. And eventually everything will crumble, and human emotions will prevail. I don't know what to think. It's such a wild book because it was written so long ago. I think that's what really blows my mind is the foresight that Orwell had with these ideas of technological advancement and surveillance. Like we're not talking about a guy who knew that we would have Ring doorbells where there's a camera on our doorbell, or he didn't know that there would be things like the government keeping track of our emails and text messages and voice calls and FaceTime and all. Like these were all things that didn't exist in 1940, right? And he still has this weird idea in his mind that there's going to be these screens everywhere where Big Brother is always watching you, where Big Brother always has their eyes on you, and they're constantly monitoring you if you make any mishaps or if you show any animosity towards a party. Do you think that the Big Brother rule can ever be overthrown in that timeline? Post Winston Smith, is there a chance? They talked about it in the interrogation sessions. Do you think that the Big Brother rule can be overthrown in that timeline? Wow, that's so interesting. I don't know. Like, it's so hard to tell, right? Because here's the thing. If Big Brother's omnipresence towards mass surveillance becomes this powerful, right? It's so hard for people to rebel. Like for them to be overthrown, it would take an unbelievable effort from an unbelievable amount of people to overthrow something that's that big or that powerful. It's even like now, like say if you're like a social media company and you want to overthrow Facebook, or you're a logistics company and you want to overthrow Amazon. It's almost at a point where Big Brother becomes too big, where they almost can't fail, or it's almost impossible to overpower them. And I think that's the fear, right? I think that's the fear that Orwell has, and also a lot of founding fathers from the US government had this idea that you can't let people in power get too powerful and too big. So I don't know, like post Winston, is there a chance? Sure. I think so, but man, I don't know. That's why one should always reread or rewatch books or movies, because one's perception changes with time. So there are new things to learn from the same story. Yeah, exactly. Like, I've known for years that 1984 has been this amazing book in political history, and it's just like so widely regarded by people. But for whatever reason, I never had the interest to go back to it and read it. And I think it's because now I've spent so much time this past 2 years reading about finance, self-development, habit change, investing, fitness. Like, these are all like these self-improvement ideas and books that I've been obsessed with for the past couple years, that I haven't read anything outside of that niche or genre, where I'm like, you know what, let's read something a little bit more abstract that will challenge me mentally. Hey, Batiste, how you doing, man? Glad to see you. Can't watch AMA this time, but I send you all my love. Hey, thanks, bro. I hope you're okay despite what you speak about your last video. We will all rise out of hell. We must not give up. Yeah, man, no worries. Do your thing. Thanks for coming by and saying hi. We'll catch you in the next stream, Batiste. But in terms of the last video, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good right now. I'm in a good place. I'm in a good state of mind, feeling pretty positive. I just had a really rough stretch of 7 days about a week or two ago, and it was kind of affecting me. Whereas normally hardly anything ever bothers me, you know. I hardly ever get down when it comes to failures in my life, but there was like this 1 week where just nothing went right, and it was just like so depressing and demoralizing, and I was like, you know what, this is probably like a good time to share you know, moments of struggle that I do have, and so that's why I made that video. But yeah, doing good. They talked about it in the book, that they said even if Big Brother gets overthrown, the retaliation will eventually be corrupted by power and end up being just another Big Brother. And the proles will stay at the lowest tier. Yeah, because that's the idea, right? The idea is that... Let me change this song. This song is too serious. So the idea is that the people in the middle will convince the people at the bottom, like the proles, to overthrow the people at the top, like the party and Big Brother. But then what happens is the people in the middle, they just betray the proles, so they end up back at the bottom, and then those people will just create a new form of Big Brother. And I think that was a perpetual circle that just kind of kept happening, right? It was just the exchange of power from one dictator to another, and it would just like go in a circle, and then the proles would never get anywhere. And like, imagine, say you take that concept and apply it to today. Like, what if someone overthrows that guy in North Korea, Kim Jong-un or whatever? Like, say you overthrow that guy. Is there just like another military dictator that would just step in and take his place, and then the whole thing would start all over again? And then there is no solution? And then like the poor people that are suffering there will just continually suffer? Like, if that's the case, then man, that's so sad and depressing. Because that's a fear, right? Like, coming from my position, you know, I live in North America. I'm in Canada, so I'm basically, you know, the little brother to the United States, and you know, we have this idea that we have to protect freedom and we have to protect democracy, you know, like at all costs. And this idea of dictators just coming to power and, you know, ruling the common people is terrifying. I didn't want to say his name earlier, but I was thinking of him. Don't worry, I'll say it. It's hard, right? Because, or at least that's what I'm scared of. I'm scared of a military dictator. It's craziness. If it can help you, your videos were part of the thing that helped me during a very dark and recent period of my life, suicidal thoughts. So thank you for your work and the ideas you share with us. Yeah, no problem, Batiste. Like the ideas that I do share, I don't have like the intent to try to change someone's mind or perspective, but the idea is that hopefully by sharing struggles and hardships that I go through, that maybe other people can learn from my mistakes and kind of not go through the same thing and live a better and prosperous life. And that's like the intent behind the majority of my videos. Have you read... Oh, John, what's up, John? How you doing, bro? I enjoyed the new video. I watched it the other day in my truck. What was it called again? Oh, shout out to the boy John Kuhn. Getting fired from a dream job. Yeah, that was it. I can relate to you with the struggles as a freelancer and horrible clients. But have you read Sapiens? I started it. We were just talking about Sapiens in the beginning, not too long ago. I started it, but for whatever reason, I got sidetracked. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Something sidetracked me. I never got to follow through with finishing the book. Let me write it down so I don't forget. I'm just gonna pull up a tab in one of my Google Chrome windows. Yeah, like I don't know what happened. I think I have this book on my phone. I think I have the ebook. I'll check it out later. Yeah, Naman just recommended that basically earlier. Yeah, so it's on my list. Maybe I'll start that next. Hey, Manu! What's up, Manu? I miss all you guys in Select. I see you started a channel, Manu. I watched one of the videos. I forgot to comment. But you're talking about your personal finances, and I like it. Thanks. You talking about authoritarians made me think about the last chapter. I am listening to a recap right now. Yeah. I got to I'll screenshot you what I've been listening to. The brief summary is just as valuable and 10 hours shorter. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of like, I don't know what you would call it, extreme descriptive points in the book that don't move the story along, but it helps you build a visual representation in your mind when it comes to the atmosphere that Big Brother is kind of portraying. But yeah, you can definitely read like a summary and get like 90% of the ideas and concepts. I read it, and what is that? Homo Deus was next on my list, but I have another 8 books to... Oh my gosh, you got 8 other books to go through? Dang, Forrest. Yeah, I got a lot of books to go through too. I'm pretty lucky though with the job that I work. There's a lot of a downtime where I can just open an ebook on my phone and read it, or while I'm driving to my location I can just listen to an audiobook. So every single day I get about a solid 4 to 5 hours in of reading or listening to podcasts or whatever. So that's amounted to like a good 20 to 25 hours per week, of consuming information. So that's like the only way I get time in for reading. Hey Manu, I'm great. We miss you too. Yes, I started my channel. I'm inspired by you. I'm glad you checked it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I noticed you were posting a couple shorts here and there, like with your husband. There's like a couple like random YouTube short videos that I saw on your channel, but then all of a sudden I got a notification about a personal finance video that you made, and how you're kind of writing down, you know, your assets and liabilities, and you're figuring out ways, you know, to take control of your finances. And I thought that was really cool. And then you even had the shots of you writing everything down in a book. So that's definitely the best way to do it. You know, like personal finance is rough. It's not until you actually write out the numbers and see what you're spending and what's coming in and what's going out that you realize that how much more you spend than you actually think, and how much less that you save than you actually thought that you were saving. And that was like the biggest thing for me when it came to personal finance, you know, just like writing everything out and just looking at it face to face and seeing like holy shit, I'm spending like $900 a month on fast food or something. Like things like that will blow your mind. But yeah, keep up with posting the videos. You never know, you know, you never know what the channel can become. Fahrenheit 451 kind of takes the same concept as 1984, but a little different on how the government deceives people. Fahrenheit 451. Okay, I'll add that to my potential list. You know what else is really crazy about 1984? There was a lot of ideas in the book that were very reminiscent of Minority Report. You know that Tom Cruise movie where they have that ball that comes down from that computer and it tells you the moment that someone is going to commit a crime, but before it actually happens? Like, I wonder if they got a lot of those ideas from Orwell's writing. Because I found that super interesting, because Big Brother had the thought police, right? Where they could know what you're thinking. But even if you didn't perform the actual action, like maybe you were thinking about starting a mutiny and attacking the party in some way, but you don't actually go out and do it. You just think of it. But Orwell talked about this idea of having the thought police, where if they know what you're thinking, then they can come after you. And I thought right away about Tom Cruise. I was like, man, this is very similar to Minority Report. And then you get into this sticky situation of, you know, this person didn't perform the actual crime, so how can they be guilty? But then the counter argument is that, well, you know they're going to perform it, so they're guilty by association. And it's like, well, I guess, like, but what if like the prediction is wrong, right? Like, what if someone thinks about committing a crime, but in the moment they have second thoughts and back down and they don't go through with it? Because, you know, that also happens a lot too, right? So I don't know. I just found it super funny thinking about Tom Cruise after reading a George Orwell book. The three precogs saw the future in their minds, and the monitors showed others what they saw. Kind of like the fates. Oh yeah, the precogs. The precogs, they were those... Were they women or were they beings? They're in that pool of water, right? And their heads were connected to like some Professor Xavier thing. And then what did he do? He like rescued one of them, right? Am I gonna have to rewatch Minority Report now? I don't want to watch Tom Cruise, do I? Minority Report is it's a dated movie now, isn't it? Didn't it come out like 2000? Minority Report. Oh wow, 2002. So 19 years ago. That's crazy. Wow, that's wild. 2002. You know what I need to do? I need to watch the 1984 movie. Cuz there was a movie that came out in 1984, right? How would I search for that 1984 film? Yeah, 1984 film. Released on October 10th, 1984. All this stuff is so crazy because 1984 was my birthday, like the year I was born. I'm gonna go now, guys. It's late. It's later here. Hey, have a good day, bro. And thanks for coming. It's always great talking to you. We'll see you in the next stream in 2 weeks. I'm posting random videos right now. I'm working on my communication skills. Also trying to be more camera friendly and confident. You know what the best advice I heard when I was starting my YouTube channel was, it doesn't matter how good or bad your communication skills are. It doesn't matter how comfortable or uncomfortable the camera makes you. The first 100 videos you make, they're gonna be shit. Like they're not gonna be good. And so what you want to do is you just want to hit record as often as you can. Hit record, make a video, edit it, post it, and just keep doing that process over and over and over and over. And by the time you get to 10 videos or 20 or 30, if you can just make tiny incremental improvements from video to video, then by the time you get through your first 50 or 100 videos, they're going to be so much better than that first video. But the biggest mistake is that a lot of people make is this paralysis by analysis, where they're too afraid to hit the record button, and they don't want to just go through that process of struggling, because that is what will really make you better when it comes to like talking to the camera. It makes you more confident, makes you more comfortable. And if you don't hit that record button, just keep churning out the videos, then it's going to take you so much longer to get there if you second guess yourself and you try to make everything perfect. So especially for you now that you if you do plan on posting more videos on your channel, my best advice would be like, just keep going. Just keep churning them out. If they're not perfect, don't worry about it. Because even like for me, when I look back at some of my videos that I made in like 2018 or 2019, like they're terrible. Like they're so bad. I was so not comfortable in my own skin. I was trying to be someone I wasn't. I had this fake extroverted personality where I was just talking way too fast and way too loud, and it just wasn't me. And by forcing yourself to continually create content and to continually hit that record button and just keep going, then eventually you almost find out the type of person you are, and you become comfortable in your own skin where you don't even have to second guess yourself. Because now, even with this live stream stuff that I do, it's extremely nerve-wracking, because I'm so used to being able to hide behind my computer editing software like Adobe Adobe Premiere, where I can edit out my mistakes. I can edit out all the times to say and and like, and when I lose my train of thought and I don't know what to say, I can just remove all of that, right? And this live stream that I'm doing is an extension of that learning process, where I'm forcing myself to be put on the spot in real time, where I can't hide behind my video editing software, and it's only me and you guys, and there's nothing I can do to hide my missteps. And I think that's extremely valuable, is to put yourself in the difficult situations and just hit record and go with it. Let's need some water. How do I say that name? Xiran? Ziran? Ziran J. Zhao? Made perfect videos since day one when she gained 1 million subs with her first video. Oh, she gained 1K subs with, oh wow. That's amazing. It took me, how long did it take me? It took me like 2 years to get 1,000 subscribers. But the funny thing is, like, I know in your video you're supposed to be like, you're supposed to tell people to comment, like, and subscribe, you know, because people are like sheep, right? You tell them to do something, and more often than not, they're going to do it. But for whatever reason, I never felt comfortable to telling people to subscribe. I don't know why. It always made me feel uneasy. Like, if someone wants to subscribe to my content, of course, you know, I'm going to appreciate that. It's going to make me feel good when I see that number tick up by 1. But at the same time, I want people to subscribe because they felt like they enjoyed my content in some way. I don't want them to subscribe just because I told them to do it. You know, I don't want it to be forced. And I know that's like a stupid way to think, because, you know, it's basically been proven that you want to tell people to subscribe in your videos. Like, look at Mr. Beast, right? He's always saying like, oh, subscribe for more cookies, or if you subscribe, I'll do this reveal at 10 million subscribers. Like, he's always telling people and reminding them, and it's called a call to action. I think that's what the proper terminology is when you tell your viewers, you know, like, leave a comment, you know, hit the like button, you know, subscribe for more. And, you know, it's a good practice to have, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And I'm sure because of that, my subscription numbers probably suffered. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm okay with that. You know, I'm super happy that I do have 1,000. I don't even know how many do I have. How many subscribers do I have? 1,500, I think. Hold on, let me check. Oh, 1,507. Yeah, that's cool. Could be visual. You know what? Now I'm interested. What is this person? Ziran J. Zhao? Sounds like super Chinese. Oh, 17 videos, 348,000 subscribers. One New York Times best-selling author of Iron Widow. Oh, wow. That's super impressive. New York Times bestseller? Dang. That's wild. She had 1 million views on her Mulan movie review. Oh, that's crazy. Hey, later, John. Thanks for stopping by, dude. Best of luck on the new, whatever the next gig is. She had 1 million views on her Mulan movie review. I really liked her videos. Did you watch the new Mulan? I love the original, like the cartoon version. And then when I watched the new Mulan, like I guess you call it like the live action one, oh man, it's like so bad. They didn't have any of like the songs, like the nostalgic songs from the original movie. They didn't have the dragon. What else did they have? I don't know. It just felt off. Why is this like playing a lullaby? Oh, I gotta change this song. I didn't set my playlist. Let's listen to something relaxing. Great advice, Derek. I will just go for it rather than thinking to make a perfect video. Yeah, do it, Manu. Also, what you want to do is try, if you can, try to make like one video a week. Or if you can't do one a week, then do like one every 2 weeks. But try to post it on the same day at the same time. Now I don't know like what your intent is with your YouTube channel, but if you are like me, where you want it to eventually succeed and hopefully help you out with your business or whatever you want to do, like having consistency and a consistent posting date and time is huge. It's so big because people like habit and people like routine, where they know, oh, Manu releases a new video every Friday at 2 p.m. or something, for example. So they know that when the next Friday comes up, you know, they look forward to watching your next video, right? And watching your next content. So, and even if you can complete, say you film 2 videos in 1 week, right? Say you get 2 videos done, post one that week and then save the other one for the following week, right? Because in the beginning, you're going to have a lot of energy and enthusiasm to create content for your channel, because it's going to be fresh, it's going to be new, it's going to be intriguing, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But over time, it becomes more and more difficult to keep churning out content at a consistent rate. And this is like the point where I'm at, where it gets extremely difficult to find the time to make one video every 7 days. So if you can find a way to make a bunch of content and sort of like spread it out and release it every week or release it every 2 weeks, that will keep you in the game for the long run, so you don't get burnt out. So again, depending on what your goals are, oh my gosh, King Radis. You know, I was hoping that joke would die with the last stream. You know, I was contemplating if I should name this stream the Year of the Rat, because you guys were roasting me so bad 2 weeks ago. King Radis. For anyone that missed the stream last time, in the last live stream, we were talking about zodiac signs and how I was born in 1984, and it was apparently the Year of the Rat. And the chat basically roasted me and called me King Radis, which I found super entertaining. It's pretty funny. King Radis. Oh, that's hilarious. What's going on, Prime Time? How was the shoot? How was the fitness shoot? I think some fitness person followed me on Instagram. Was that the person you were working with? I remember I got a notification the other day on Instagram that someone followed me, and I just briefly looked at their page, and it was like a fitness page. I was wondering if that was the person that you're doing a video for. Oh man, King Radis. Oh, but yeah, that last stream we had was super fun. I appreciate the jokes and the roasting. I have a pretty wild sense of humor. Let's see. Where were we? What were we talking about? I forgot now. I lost my train of thought. See, this would be a perfect part to edit out in like a YouTube video, because I forgot what we were talking about and just went off on a tangent. Let's see, what do I have in my tab? Sapien. Okay, so I'm going to read that book. Fahrenheit 451. What was? Oh yeah, this another book. Man, this like dystopian novels are pretty dark. Oh yeah, Minority Report. Okay, so that's a movie I'm gonna maybe rewatch when I get time, and also watch the 1984 film. I have a feeling it's bad, because I've heard so much great reviews when it comes to the book, but I haven't heard anything when it comes to the movie. You gave me great advice and confidence. Someone told me to delete my videos and make them better, but I won't do that now. Just here. Oh, that's horrible advice. That is. Delete your videos and make them better. Yeah, that's don't listen to that person. That advice is terrible. That is terrible advice when it comes to YouTube. You know what one of my biggest regrets is when it comes to YouTube is deleting my old videos. Like I made videos in 2007, 2010, 2013, like I had all these periods of time where I was bouncing from niche to niche, and I made these horrible videos and then I ended up deleting them. And I regret that so much. I regret deleting those videos because even though your first couple of videos, they won't be good, right? And they're gonna be crappy, but you can look back at those like 6 months from now or a year from now. And what it will do is it will be a reminder to show you how much you have grown since then. Like even for me, when I look back at my 2019 videos, and in terms of my ability with storytelling and filmmaking and being confident on camera and even how I edit my videos, it's like miles better now than it was then. And if I never had that to look back on, I wouldn't have that reminder to show like how much hard work results in improvement. And it motivates me, to keep pushing myself, to keep getting better every single day. And like if you delete your old videos, like you're removing that extra motivation and that chance for you to look back at where you came from. And it's so important, it's so important in this journey to look back at, where you started and how much you've grown from that initial first video to the present. And like I can't say that like enough. Like I can't emphasize this idea, like don't delete it. Like say for example, if you change niche, like if you change your niche and your video doesn't relate to what you're talking about anymore, then okay, that's fine. You can just unlist it, right? Like what I do with like these live streams, I eventually unlist them, but don't delete them. Yeah, see, exactly. Like Brian is saying the same thing that I am. Don't delete your videos. It's definitely bad advice. 100% bad advice. It's this pursuit for perfection that gets you nowhere. Like so many people, especially when it comes to social media, when you put yourself out there and you're creating content or you're starting a business, it's never easy. It's messy. It's sticky. It's full of failure. And there's so many hardships that you have to go through. And people are going to see your work. And all that they're going to do is just judge you, right? They're going to look at the things that are bad and they're going to give you horrible advice because they're too scared to put themselves out there. And it's so much easier for them to critique you and judge you rather than looking at their own failures as a human being, right? So you can never listen to horrible advice from other people when it comes to content creation. And of course, you do need to take criticism at times. Like maybe someone will say like, hey, I saw your recent video about this, but I could barely hear your voice. Or like maybe they give you some constructive criticism that you can use to improve your next video. And that's the types of comments that you want to take seriously. But the ones where it's like, oh, delete it, it's not good enough, you need to make it better, like just ignore that. Like that's just a waste of your time. And just keep going. And that's another thing too. It's like in the beginning when you start YouTube, it's quantity over quality. Because in the very beginning, you can put in 100 hours into a video and put all this time and effort and make it like the best possible video you can, but then you only make one. Whereas if you use all that time and energy and created 10 videos, you're so much better off that way. And there was a scientific study that I read about this, which really proved this point, where a university took a class of photographers, and they told the students in this photography class that they're going to be graded at the end of the year based on a photo that they submit. And they divide the class into two groups. And in one class, or in one half of the group, the teacher said, like, I want you to spend the whole semester on creating the one best possible photo you can, in terms of like composition and lighting and mood and theme and coloring. And then the other class, he told them, take 1,000 pictures. Like take 1,000, take 5,000, take 10,000 pictures. And don't worry about it being the best. And submit a photo at the end. And so the thought was, if both groups are going to be graded on one photo, right? And you have one group that's taking thousands of shitty photos, but then you have the other group that's putting all their time and effort on creating one photo that has perfect composition, perfect everything, and then they're going to grade them. What ends up happening is that at the end, all the students who took thousands and thousands of photos, their final submission was way better than anyone from the other group that spent all their time and energy on perfection. And it's this idea of learning through repetition is so much better than this search of perfection. And this 100% applies to YouTube. Like, just keep posting as many as you can and improve along the way. And don't let the search for perfection like stop you. Right, and that's like the whole idea when it comes to quantity over quality. But then eventually, those tables will turn when you get to a certain point. Whereas for me now, I try to focus a little more on quality because I've kind of put in the reps. I put in the repetitions. I have like, I don't know, maybe 80 videos or so posted on my channel. So now I try to focus a little bit more on the quality, whereas in the beginning stages, definitely just get your reps in, Oh, I'd love to read that article. Where did I read it? It was like a case study from a university with a photographer. What university was it? If I find it, I'll send it to you, Forrest, on Instagram. It was a really good read. It was super interesting because I thought, in all honesty, that the first group that was focusing in on like perfect composition, perfect lighting and all that, I thought that they would produce the best image. Because like if you're going out and you're taking thousands of shitty pictures, like how can you create like really high quality work? But what happened was, because the students were experimenting so much and they're just taking so many shots, just like over time, they developed a better eye for composition, right? They developed a better eye for creativity and unique photos. Whereas the other group, because they weren't going out and putting the reps, they were just like stuck, like thinking and debating about what the perfect composition is, that they never were able to find it and obtain it because they never put in the work and they never were out there shooting the actual pictures, right? And it's that this idea of progress through work is better than progress through deliberate, I don't know, perfection seeking or something like that. But yeah, I found that to be an awesome like anecdotal story when it comes to creating a YouTube channel, and I use that as a reminder, because there are some days where I focus way too much on the perfection side, and I don't get a video done in time for my post day on Wednesdays. And I know that, like, instead of focusing in on like 100% perfection or like 99% quality, if I put in maybe like 80%, quality, but get the actual video out, that's so much better than not getting the video out at all, right? I need to remember where I read that from, because it was a super interesting case study. And it was like at some, I think it was some American university, I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to search for it later. It's also like, it's kind of hard advice to take too, when you think about it, because so many people, they don't like that answer. They want to know what the quick fix is. What's the magic supplement? What's the secret? What's the hack or the shortcut to success? Like, no one likes this answer of put in the work, put in the reps. Like, more than often, that is the answer to life, right? And that is the answer to success. But like the large majority of people, they don't want to hear that. That's not the answer that they seek. And it's so true in so many things too. Like, take diet and exercise, for example. Like, this is a perfect example for this idea of perfection seeking, where so many people are looking for the new fad diet, whether it's like, this super ketogenic diet that burns fat, or this magic fat burning supplement, or this professional trainer that has this super fat burning ab workout. Like, these are the things that people search for in the fitness industry, right? Like, these are the things that sell, right? These magic formulas, this quick fix or secret workout that no one knows. Whereas the actual answer is eat less food and move more. And that's it. Like, that is the answer. The answer is to eat less, work more, put in the reps, do the work. But that's not what people want to hear, because that answer is not sexy, right? It's forcing people to look at their situation, and it's forcing them to have discipline and to work hard, whereas they're just searching for the magic pill. And it just never works out, right? Like, how many people have you ever met? They're like, oh, I started this new low carb diet, and oh, it's so good, I lost 8 pounds. But then you talk to them 6 months later, and they basically like look the same. Like, nothing has changed, nothing has happened, because it's not sustainable. Like, searching for shortcuts and secrets, especially in fitness, it just never works. Don't do diets. Oh, David, what's up, bro? Yo, diets means it's temporary. Yeah, exactly. Better choices means you change your way of life and it'll be easier to stick. Yeah, it's like this idea of I'm on a diet that has like an expiration date. There's always like, oh, I'm on a diet for the next, 3 months so that I can lose 10 pounds for summer or be summer ready or whatever. It's like, it's never sustainable. And like David said, it's temporary, right? Yeah, diets, it's hard too, because diet's like a sensitive, issue, right? Because you can't tell people, especially like with this whole like fat shaming thing, you can't be like super insensitive to people's feelings, and it's hard, to give people honest answers about this stuff. But like, that's the truth, It's this, like, it's the truth of the matter. Like, I can't even remember how many times, like, I've had coworkers tell me they found this amazing, fat burning, low carb diet or ketogenic diet or like all this stuff. Like they found the secret, they found the secret to success, to shedding inches off their waistline. And it's like almost every single one of those people, it's nothing's ever changed. In the long run, like nothing ever. There weren't any results that ended up sticking in their life, and they're kind of just stuck in the mud, spinning their wheels. I've come to understand people want to change, but you can't tell someone to work out or eat better if they're actually not serious about it. Yeah, it's kind of like that idea that talk is cheap. So many people say that they're dedicated, and so many people say they want to lose the weight or they want to exercise, but when you get in like 1, 2, or 3 months in, or whatever the case is, or even 3 weeks, and that initial motivation and inspiration that you had kind of wears off, and then you're faced with the adversity of trying to push through something difficult, and so that's the point when so many people quit. Yeah, if they're actually not serious about it, they just give up in 3 weeks. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. It's like the worst time is when you go to the gym after New Year's and it's packed. Like, for anyone that doesn't go to the gym normally, like January and February are the worst months. Like to go to the gym, it's horrible. It's just full of new people that have New Year's resolutions to lose weight, and they either get a gym membership for Christmas or someone buys it for them, or they go out and decide, January 1st, I'm going to, be healthy and get a gym membership. And the gyms are packed for those first 2 months. And it's horrible because it's full of like noobs, and it's full of people that like don't know what to do, and they don't know the proper etiquette, and they leave their shit everywhere, and they don't wipe down the machines, or they don't put back the weights. And I hated going to the gym during those first 2 months. It was horrible. But then if you can make it into March or April, then all of a sudden, all those new faces that you saw, they're just gone. They just never make it past those first 2 months. And, some people do, but this is not what happens. A lot of people want to change and want to go to the gym with me, and they always give up. They have to start by themselves, and you come up in and help them. Because if it's from you, they quit. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah, exactly. Not everyone has a strong will of rat, Derek. Oh, Forrest, you're roasting me. Oh my god, I just got roasted. Oh no. Rat Derek. Oh man, I'm dying. And you wait for your weights and machines, and your workout takes way longer, and they're going to be gone within a month. Yeah, those first two months of the gym suck. It's but like here's the thing though, I get it. Like if you aren't someone who enjoys fitness to some capacity, it's so difficult to build that habit, and I know this because like back in the day, like I loved playing basketball. So like exercising when it comes to basketball was very easy for me because it was enjoyable. It was something I loved to do. But then at the same time, you want to get stronger. right? And you want to build your cardiovascular health. You want to build core strength and leg strength when it comes to basketball. So a lot of guys would go to the gym, for strength and conditioning. And I hated it. I hated it. I had no enjoyment when it came to working out in the gym. And I would go for a little bit, try to do some leg press to increase my vertical leap or something, but I had zero interest. And I completely understand why people struggle when it comes to going to the gym. Because if you don't love it, you got to have like a purpose or a reason for going that you can really stick to. I forgot an A. Forrest, you're killing me. For me, gymming isn't even about changing anymore. It's just a time for me to be by myself, kind of like meditation. Yeah, I know what you mean. I enjoy the routine. I enjoy the routine of going to the gym, just going in by myself at a set time for a set day and, just putting in the work. I really enjoy it. It sucks because I haven't gone to the gym in so long because they're all closed, right? My gym partner that I work out with, he texted me a picture last night, I think, and the gym that we go to finally reopened, and he just went back yesterday. So I think that's a good sign for the gyms here. But yeah, they've just like basically been closed for so long. It's so annoying. But I'm pretty lucky where I have a bench and I have adjustable dumbbells from 10 pounds all the way to 90 in my garage. So during the summers, I've been able to keep up with my workouts. In the winters, it's kind of hard because in a gym, in a garage, it's like there's no heat. It's freezing. And I found that like trying to force my workouts when it's like minus 10 or 0 degrees outside, it's kind of rough because it's like I kept injuring my shoulder. It was so hard to maintain my body temperature. So I don't know. I gotta figure out something. I haven't worked out at home. Yeah, working out at home is different, like I have a pull-up bar that I'd put in my doorway and I'd do like push-ups and body weight squats, but it's, for me, I find that it's the routine of getting out of the house and going to a separate building or place is what really motivates me. Because like when I'm in my room, like doing push-ups, like I'm still kind of like in my room. Like the computer is still there, my phone is still there, the TV is still there, the kitchen is still there, and it's way too easy to get distracted. But when you get up, get out of your house and you drive to the gym, like you can't do anything else. You're there, you're stuck there. So it's like it's so much more easier to focus on your workout and put in the hour or whatever that you normally do. I'm excited to go back though. The only problem is right now we're looking at moving. I've been looking at houses for like a couple months now. We've been trying to move, but hopefully we'll see what happens. Don't you find it hard? Yeah. Oh, to get to the gym? I like sometimes when like life gets in the way, but for me it was like wake up early, go at a set time or a specific time, and it was just something that I would do. It's like, oh, it's 6 a.m. It's get my shoes, get my pre-workout, go to the gym, and it's just that time just became part of my identity. It's like, oh, it's this day, it's this time. That means I go to the gym. No ifs, ands, or buts. And it just became like automatic. And it's like just something that I would do. I wouldn't even have to think about it. But when it was like, when I didn't have a set time where I was like, oh, I'll work out in the afternoon, or oh, maybe I'll work out before dinner, or oh, maybe I'll do it after lunch. Like that's when it never worked for me. Like when I could pick and choose to be flexible with my workouts, I found it so difficult to stay consistent with it. But when I had like a strict routine, of like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 6 a.m. 4 days a week. I'd do upper, lower, or push, pull, legs, full body, or whatever the routine was. It was every Monday, oh, this day I'm going to the gym. Wednesday, I'm going to the gym. Friday, I'm going to the gym. And it was just like super easy. So I found like for me, I have to have that routine. Whereas now when I'm at home, it's like, I could work out now maybe, or maybe work out before I go to work. Like that's when it's so hard to stay consistent that way. But we'll see. Hopefully this whole house hunting situation will work out and can move somewhere, and by the time I do, the gyms will all be open. I can find a new spot to go to. But at least it's a good sign that they're opening up. Because it's been what? It's been like 2 years, right? Like when did COVID start? Like 2010? Like when did all the lockdowns start? Okay, so in Ontario, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak of COVID a public emergency on January 30th, 2020. Okay, yeah, so 2020 it started. So it's been almost 2 full years. Okay, so end of November 2019, that's when it started. And then it was, for us in Canada, it was declared in the beginning of 2020. Oh, and labeled a pandemic on March 11th, 2020. Okay, I see. So it started November 2019, and then January 2020 became a public health emergency, and then and labeled a pandemic in 2020. Wow. Yeah, so it's been almost 2 years of no gym for me. Wow, it sucks. It really sucks. Like losing all the gains. I probably like can't even bench half the weight that I was doing. Probably super weak. It just sucks. Because all my lifts were actually getting pretty good at the end of 2019. I was feeling pretty strong, feeling pretty healthy. But you know what was really nice about that though? I actually replaced my gym time with a lot of like reading and a lot of like books and ebooks, and so that's kind of like been really nice, where my physical health has kind of suffered, I guess you would say, in terms of like health and conditioning physically, but when it comes to like mental health and learning, and I've really taken advantage of that time. But I definitely need a balance though. I think the key there is to have a balance. Yeah, I miss the whole routine of going to the gym. Hashtag chub life. Chub life. Yeah, it's hard. I think what's more difficult for me is food. Like I'm pretty good like when it comes to exercising and being disciplined, but man, I eat too much sometimes. I think that's my biggest struggle. I'm sure it's a lot of people's struggles too. Food is just so delicious. Everyone is older after all this. During the lockdown, I didn't think that it affected me that much mentally, but I realize that now I don't socialize as much anymore. Yeah, man, it's so different. You know, it's so different now. You know what I really miss? I really miss just going to a restaurant with your friends to have a meal to celebrate like someone's birthday, for example. Like not being able to do that, oh man. I think that's what really bothered me. I never have, so I can't really tell a difference. Hmm. So Forrest, you've been thriving. You've just been thriving in the whole pandemic. Actually, so have I. You know, I'm pretty introverted too when it comes to a lot of things. Like I do enjoy going out and spending time with people, but at the same time, like I can easily just stay home and read a book or watch a movie or create a YouTube video. Like I enjoy both aspects of that. Oh, David, you've become introverted. Oh no, that's not a bad thing though. Is it? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I think it's fine. But I do miss some social interaction to an extent. Like even just like the family gatherings, you know, like even seeing you, David, you and Kelly and you know all the other cousins and stuff. So you know that part it's rough. You're one of us now. Yeah, David, you're part of Team Introverted live streams on Saturdays. That's how we do it. We stay home, you know, we stay inside, talk about books, and you know, that's what we do. This is funny. Oh, what is that word? People stop making fun of my mysophobia? How do you say that? Mysophobia. I don't think I've ever seen that word before. Mysophobia. Extreme or irrational fear of dirt or contamination. Oh, wow. Do you have like Forrest, is that sort of like OCD? Like you know those people that when they wash their hands, they kind of like instead of washing just their hands, they wash all the way up to their elbow? Is that like the same thing? Let me see, is mysophobia like OCD? Mysophobia is thought to be relative to obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. OCD obsessions are repeated, persistent, and unwanted urges to images that cause distress or anxiety. These obsessions may intrude when you're trying to think of or do other things. Oh, wow. Oh, that's so interesting. So, like, if you have, like, a fear of germs, like COVID, wouldn't that be, like, your worst nightmare? Where, like, a disease is just spreading in the air from person to person? You're probably like, I told you guys, I told you so. Like, you... Was it, like, one of those type of things? I've never heard that term before. Like I've heard of germaphobe or germophobia, but I never knew it was like the scientific terminology is mysophobia. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Isn't there like a pronunciation? How do I pronounce this word? Pronunciation.
Mysophobia.
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 Okay, so it is mysophobia. Hey, I learned a new word. You know what's interesting? When I think about like fears, I don't think I really have anything that I'm like really scared of. Like I have like one mild fear where where I get anxiety from like things in the bottom of a lake. But I think that's pretty much it. Y is like trying to say E, but your lips are rounded like you're about to say O. Y is like E. Mysophobia. Yeah, like I don't think I have any phobias. Like I'm trying to think, like scared of like insects don't bother me or anything like that. Bugs. Not scared of anything. I don't No, I mean like maybe not scared is the right word, but fears? Because like what like I don't like what is a phobia? Is that like a fear? Phobia. So phobia is a persistent, excessive, unrealistic fear of an object, person, animal, activity, or a situation. It's a type of anxiety disorder. So a person with a phobia either tries to avoid the thing that triggers a fear or endures it with great anxiety and distress. Yeah, see, I don't think I have any phobias. Because typical phobias are like what? Like spiders and snakes and bugs and stuff like that. That's fine. What else? Phobia, like heights. That's a common one too, right? Scared of heights. So mysophobia, so like germs. And there's that weird, what's that phobia where people are scared of like the holes? That's a strange one too. Like they can't eat Swiss cheese because they're scared of the holes in the cheese. What is that? Thanatophobia? What is that? Thanatophobia? Is a form of anxiety characterized by fear of one's own death or the process of dying. Death anxiety. Death anxiety is not defined as a distinct order, but it may be linked to other depression or anxiety disorders. Yikes. That one sounds pretty dark. Oh, Nancy has that? Oh, really? The process of dying. I guess I was sort of... I think everyone has like maybe a little bit of a fear of dying, but... Oh, she has that? Scared of holes? Yeah, right. Wait, so then... like, can't she eat Swiss cheese then? Because I've heard of people that can't eat Swiss cheese because they're scared of the holes in the cheese. What do you call that? Phobia of holes. Yeah, this one. How do you say this word? Trypophobia? Trypophobia. Trypophobia is a condition where a person experiences a fear or aversion to clusters of small holes. The condition is thought to be triggered when a person sees a pattern of small clustered holes, bringing about symptoms such as fear, disgust, and anxiety. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Yeah, so like honeycombs and stuff. I don't have those. I used to collect spiders. I find them cute, but I die of the thought of a snail exciting me. Oh man, you said spiders? I think Tina's scared of spiders. Tina definitely doesn't like spiders. Wow, that's so strange. It makes her super uncomfortable. Wow, the holes in honeycombs. Oh, that's so bizarre. You know what? I can kind of see it. Oh, what about what about a pomegranate? Have you ever ate like a pomegranate in front of her? Because like, you know how you open up a pomegranate, there's all those little like those little pockets of where the seeds are. Like, does that freak her out? Like, that's so wild. Tryptophobia. That's so crazy. Tryptophobia. Wait, am I saying that right? Well, we went off on a wild tangent. I don't know how we got onto this topic, but I'm super interested. Pronunciation.
Trypophobia.
Oh, trypophobia.
Trypophobia.
Trypophobia. So you can't do snails, Forrest? Have you ever tried eating escargot? Oh, that's probably a nightmare for you. Even imagine having like trypophobia and a fear of snails, but then you eat escargot, because then it comes in like that. It comes in like that tray that has holes, and the snails are in the holes. Oh no. Oh man. Or turkey? Really? You don't like turkeys? Like the bird? That's interesting. Oh, really? Closed spaces. That's like what is that? Claustrophobia, right? Like being confined in closed spaces. I think that's claustrophobia, right? That one's super common, I think. I think a lot of people are claustrophobic. Wow, really? Turkeys freak you out? You know what's so crazy? Where my parents live in the middle of nowhere, they have these like wild turkeys that live on their property, and they come in like these giant packs of like 10, and they're ugly looking things. They have like that, what do you call that thing that's on their neck? The gizzard, is it called a gizzard? Like they have this like red piece of wrinkly skin like hanging from like their nose down to their neck. Oh, they're just so ugly. And then like they fly. It's so strange. They fly like 20 feet. Like I never knew turkeys could fly. I was like, what? Like they're so fat, right? But then all of a sudden they would fly maybe 15, 20 feet off the ground, and then they would fly into a tree and then curl up like a ball, and they would sleep in the tree. And I was just like, what is going on? Oh no, this is giving you anxiety? Yeah, it's crazy because in my parents' house, their house is built on a slope. So the top floor is at a higher elevation in the land. And where my room, or I guess the room I stay in my parents' house, is in the basement. But like the ground is lower. And there's like the basement has like a walkout door, a sliding door that you can kind of walk out down to the water. And the turkeys, they come down the hill and they come to that door and they poke on it with their beak. And all of a sudden I was just hanging out, and I hear this like bang, bang on the glass. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And then I went downstairs, and there's this two turkeys like smashing their head or their beak into the glass sliding door because they wanted food. And I was just like, what is going on? And my dad's like, oh, I have like sesame seeds or something that he gives to them. And so he goes out and he puts all this, these sesame seeds on the ground or whatever, sunflower seeds. And like this giant pack of like 10 turkeys, they come and they just like eat everything. So you definitely wouldn't enjoy seeing those things. Wonder do I have a picture? Do I have a picture of them? Probably have like a picture, like an Instagram story of them pecking at the glass. Actually, probably you don't want to see that. That'd be mean. But yeah, going back to phobias. I wonder, like, maybe I'm not thinking of, is there like a phobia of failure? Like, is that a thing? Phobia of failure. Oh wow, there is. In its extreme form, fear of failure is termed as how do I say that? Achyphobia. Individuals coping with achyphobia can experience crippling self-doubt and extreme fear of failure due to the perceived ridicule one might face after a failure. Achyphobia can severely affect the quality of life for the sufferer. Oh my gosh, that's wild. Like, if there was one phobia that I have or had, that might be it. How do I say that? What a strange thing. There's probably like a phobia for everything in the world.
Go about pronouncing it? Atikiphobia.
Atikiphobia. Atikiphobia. Atikiphobia is said to affect between 2 to 5% of the population as of Penn State from 2015. Oh, wow, that seems like a lot. Wonder what are the most common phobias? I'm just going down a super rabbit hole right now. Let's see. The 10 most common fears in terms of phobias. Oh wow, social phobia. Is that just like talking to people? This one can't be real. Agoraphobia, a fear of open spaces? So like it's the opposite of claustrophobia? Acrophobia, fear of heights, that's pretty common. Oh my gosh, how do you say this one? Pteromorphanophobia. I don't know how to say that. Fear of flying. I get that one. Claustrophobia, fear of enclosed spaces. Entomophobia, fear of insects. Cynophobia, fear of dogs? Oh, wow. That's so bizarre. Huh. Well, learned a couple new things today from you guys and just Googling stuff. I'll change the song. Something else. Let's listen to something hopeful. Oh, dude. Dude. Oh my god. Is that a thing? Like, is that a real thing? Oh my gosh, it is a thing. Yikes. That's not good. Like, wouldn't you just call that like racism? Yeah, I just Googled it. It's an actual phobia. That's so crazy. Jeez. And culture too. Oh my gosh. I guess it makes sense though, right? Like if people are scared of holes, you know, like if people are scared of the holes in the honeycomb, then that's definitely there's definitely people who are scared of like skin color. Oh, there's another word, melanophobia. Is that like derived from melatonin? Or not melatonin, melanin? Melanophobia, like melanin, like the skin color. Yeah, that's wild. I get it. I get it. There's all kinds of strange things that people are scared of. That one's a wild one, though. The one with holes is the most interesting, though. Trypophobia. It's crazy because like people are so different that like nothing surprises me nowadays. Like even when I heard of that trypophobia, how people are scared of like a beehive or something, like I'm like, oh, you know, for whatever reason that doesn't surprise me. There's always something crazy going on in the world. I'm gonna have like the most messed up Google search now of all this stuff that we're searching for. What is this? Christmas music? Play something else. Wait, so are we gonna do Christmas this year, David? I wonder how that's gonna work. Like, I wonder if like Megan and Josephine from like the U.S. if they're would be able to come over the border, and we can have like the normal cousins Christmas. Because I heard something how they're easing up the restrictions at the border, so hopefully that's good. Oh, I think so. Not sure of when exactly. Oh, you think they gave up? Oh, shit. So I know you guys are talking about something in the group chat. The border reopened. Yeah, but even like it's probably super complicated, right? Like you got to show what, proof of vaccination, but do you still have to show a negative test just to like get in? Oh, I think by Christmas it'll be easy to get in. Yeah, I hope so, you know. I feel like this year people just want to travel, you know, to be able to see their family and oh, the tests are easy to get. I've never had a COVID test. It's weird because I haven't had any symptoms. I've had like nothing. I've had so much exposure to people because I've been working throughout the whole pandemic, and there's been a bunch of people at my work that got COVID, but I've never had any symptoms. I've never felt off. I never had to go get tested. Like basically, I've been pretty lucky with all things considered. But the test looks gnarly though. They stick that thing all the way up your nose, like into your brain. Like that can't be comfortable. There's no way. I've worked at school, been in contact with so many positive. Oh, yeah, see, exactly. So that's crazy, dude. You never got it either. Or maybe it's also like we're in the age range health-wise where we don't have like comorbidities. So maybe even if we did get it, we would be asymptomatic. Oh, Forrest, you did it 3 times? Oh, man, something in my eye. It's got like an eyelash in my eye. Well, so Forrest, did you get the one where they stick that swab like all the way up your nose? Like, oh, it looks so painful. Because I've seen people do it and then they like start crying. It's probably so uncomfortable. You know what? I'm gonna be I'm gonna be super happy when all this stuff ends, if it ever ends, and we can kind of get back to some normalcy in our lives and go back to the way things were. But I have like a fear in the back of my mind that like this shit like might never go away. Like I hope not, but I'm just like so sick of all this pandemic stuff. It's so depressing. I just wish it was over somehow. Yeah, I've got messed up sinuses anyway, and it was so bad for me. Oh no. My nose kept bleeding. What? And once I almost fainted. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Oh, that sounds so bad. Yeah, because I have really bad sinus issues. Because I have all kinds of like seasonal sinus related allergies and stuff. Oh my gosh, your nose kept bleeding and you almost fainted. Oh, yo, I don't want to get one of those tests. That sounds horrible. So I guess like it made you lightheaded. If you almost fainted, like that's serious. I think I have a trip planned in the future in February to the US. So I might have to get one of those tests eventually, but at this point I don't know. I still haven't booked the flight because I'm waiting to see with what happens in the new year, if there's any crazy travel restrictions, but I might have to do it. As I said, that was just me. Yeah, you know, I'm sure it's different for everyone, right? But I think the vast majority of people, it just looks horrible. It looks so painful. Oh. Hey, it's almost 2 o'clock. Whoa, but yo, this stream went by fast. I just realized it's almost been 2 hours. We went on a super tangent though. We were talking about like dystopian futures and politics and Orwell, and we got into tryptophobia or whatever it's called, and COVID nose tests. Oh my gosh. Oh, this stream is so funny. Oh man. All right. I think I'm going to end this stream shortly. That was fun. So I'm definitely going to plan the next one for, let's see, 2 weeks from now, November 27th. So we'll do same place, same time, all that jazz. Because it was fun. Yeah, you know, the streams are, you know what? I've been becoming more and more comfortable with being put on the spot like this. Like the first 5 or so streams that I was doing, I was like so uncomfortable, and it was like I had so much anxiety. Whereas now I'm just like, you know what? It's just like fun to just chill on a Saturday and just chat with you guys and, you know, just share ideas and talk about whatever. I kind of like the no structure though. Like we can go from George Orwell to Tom Cruise to Chinese zodiacs to COVID and books. Like, we can just go all over the place, and it makes it kind of fun. All right, so for anyone that's watching, still here, I guess give me a like if you liked it. I don't know what that does. Maybe it'll help. Who knows? And we'll do it all again next Saturday, November 27th. And also, I should have a video coming out on the 17th of this month and the 24th. So 2 more videos, hopefully this month. And I'll try to stay consistent with the weekly uploads and bi-weekly live streams. And then we'll see what happens in the new year. All right, Forrest, David, whoever else is watching. Thanks for everyone who came by to chat. It was a lot of fun. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, have a good night.